Good morning, my dear students. In my last video, we have tried the basic approach to three statistics. Now in this video, I am going to discuss the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law, which is very important as it is always there in the exams. What is classical law of distribution of the particles, or in other words, you can say it is the Maxwell-Boltzmann law or Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution law. Alright, this law is applicable only for the gases, the gas molecules. So I have considered such an isolated sample of ideal gas containing n molecules in a volume V. What I have considered over here, it is an isolated sample of an ideal gas containing n molecules in volume V. So what does it mean over here, that isolated sample? This means the sample is completely different from its universe. It can neither exchange energy nor exchange matter between the surrounding and the sample. That means the sample that has been taken is completely cut off from its surroundings. Now since it is a dynamic system, because I have taken the gas, so all the gas molecules are always in constituent motions, random motion, colliding with each other with the as well as with the walls of the containing vessel. Such a system is known to be a dynamic system. So since it is a dynamic system, so all the constituent particles are in random motion, continuously colliding with each other as well as with the walls of the containing vessel. Now but the system being insulated, see I have supposed over here the isolated sample. That means the system is insulated from its surrounding, so its energy must remain constant with the time. Let its total energy be U. This is the total energy of the system. Let the volume is divided into K compartments, 1, 2, 3 and so on, K, having number of particles as N1, N2, N3 and so on, Nk. Alright, number of particles as N1, N2, N3 and so on, Nk respectively. Now see what is U1? It is the mean energy, means the average energy assigned to one particle in first compartment. What is U2? It is again mean energy, that is the average energy assigned to one particle in the second compartment and so on. What is UK? It is a mean energy, that is the average energy assigned to one particle in kth compartment. Now let U1, U2 be and so on UK be the mean energies of each compartments respectively. This arrangement, now see what do you get from this arrangement? It is similar to the arrangement of n distinguishable particles into k compartments of unequal sizes, which we have discussed in the last chapter. So this distribution is similar to the distribution of n particles into k compartments of unequal sizes. So let G1, G2, G3 and so on Gk be the number of phase space cells in the first compartment. G1 is the number of phase space cells in the first compartment. G2 is the number of phase space cells in the second compartment and so on. Gk is the number of phase space cells in the kth compartment. So considering this distribution similar to the distribution of n distinguishable particles into k compartments, we have already derived the thermodynamic probability of the macro state N1, N2 and so on, Nk, which is given by simply W. So instead of writing this bracketed quantity again and again, I'll prefer to write it in the simple form, that is W. It is given by factorial n pi of gi raised to power ni upon factorial ni. They name this as equation number 1. We have already derived this equation in our previous chapter, the chapter 1. That was the distribution of n distinguishable particles into k compartments of unequal sizes. The same has been considered over here. Now come, you have to remember over here the 3 steps. Actually this whole phenomena is of 3-step phenomena. The first step is, this thing is totally different for the 3 statistics. But further from here, all the 3 steps are common to all the 3 kinds of statistics. The first step, once you find W, you have to apply natural log on both sides. So applying natural log on both sides, I'll get natural log of W. This is natural log of factorial n. Pi changes into sum, product changes into sum. So summation natural log of gi raised to the power ni. This is in the denominator. So minus, again pi is there. So sum of natural log of factorial ni. This can be further simplified as natural log of factorial n plus this ni power comes in the front. So summation of ni natural log of gi minus summation of natural log of ni. Consider this as equation number 2. Now second step is, after applying natural log, you have to apply the Stirling's formula over here, because I have to open up these factorials. Now what is your Stirling formula? Natural log of factorial n is n log n minus n. Similarly over here, natural log of ni, it is ni natural log of ni minus ni. Summation remaining the same. See, summation remaining the same. So I have opened this equation by applying Stirling's formula simply. Now open all these equations. This is n log n minus n plus this term remains same. Just open this summation. This is summation ni natural log of ni minus of minus becomes plus summation of ni. So what does the summation of ni means? This is the n, total number of particles. So this positive n goes off with this negative n, and I am left only with this equation, which is equation number 3. Now the step third is differentiating on both sides. So once you have expanded it with Stirling's formula, now the step third is differentiating both sides, keeping one thing in brain, that n as well as gi is a constant. See, why n is here constant? Because this is the constraint on the system, that total number of the particle always remains constant. Secondly, gi is constant. Why gi is constant? Because this is similar to, once I have placed 100 chairs in a room, they will remain 100 chairs. They cannot be changed. Only the particles keep on changing, means ni keeps on changing, but gi remains constant. So differentiating this whole equation, left hand side is d natural log of w equal to, right hand side's first term is completely constant, so constant's derivative comes out to be 0. Then plus, see, natural log of gi as it is, ni's derivative is dni, then minus summation of, here both are variables, ni as well as natural log of ni. So you have to apply the product rule. First is ni as it is, log's derivative it is 1 upon ni, into ni's derivative it is dni. Then plus, now natural log of ni as it is, ni's derivative it is dni. So expanding whole these brackets, you will get natural log of gi into dni minus ni goes off with ni, this is natural log of dni, then minus summation of natural log of ni into dni. Now see, this is again equal to 0. The second term becomes 0. Why second term is 0? Because summation ni is a constant. So if summation ni is a constant, its derivative comes out to be 0 simply. So what do you get? You will get equation number 4 simply. D natural log of w is equal to summation natural log of gi minus natural log of ni. Summation and dni has been kept common between these two terms. Alright? You will get this equation as equation number 4. Now, after getting equation number 4, what comes over here? It is a basic approach to 3 statistics, because this is the equation which is going to be appear in each and every kind of statistics, whether it is MB statistics, or it is BE statistics, or it is FD statistics. This is one kind of equation which is applicable to all kinds of statistics. So after getting d natural log of w in terms of equation number 4, what is my next step? It is simply to apply the basic approach to 3 statistics. This is equation number 5. Now what we are going to use, my dear students, see, equation 4 को equation 5 में use करना है. See what I do now? Just use your equation number 4 for the d natural log of w in your equation number 5. So using 4 and 5, I'll get simply the one equation which is your see, using 4 and 5, I'll get this equation, d natural log of w minus this is equal to 0. I have shifted the two terms on the same side, making the right hand side as 0. Now from whole these terms, see, I can take summation as common, I can take dni as common. Here it is a dni, just make it over here as dni. Dni is here, see, natural log of gi. So dear students, make a correction over here. It is a dni over here, right? So dni kept as common, summation is kept as common. On collecting the terms, you will get this kind of equation. Now, since all dni are independent of each other, see what does this equation is showing me? That sum of, because summation is there, sum of the products of two quantities. What are the two quantities? This bracketed quantity and dni. Summation dni was 0, but individual dni is not equal to 0 because all ni are different. So out of the sum of the products of these two quantities, either this should be 0 or the bracketed quantity should be 0. But this cannot be 0. dni is not equal to 0 as all ni are different. So dni's will be different. They will be independent of each other. So I must put this bracketed quantity equal to 0. See, I have put the bracketed quantity equal to 0. Now on simplifying this equation, I will simply get equation number 6. So what is this equation number 6 representing me? Ni, this is gi upon exponential of alpha into exponential of beta ui. Alright, this is the equation which is telling me the number of particles in ith compartment, which is telling me that the number of particles in ith compartment, they are proportional to the number of phase space cells in the ith compartment, as well as the two terms, which is exponential of alpha and exponential of beta ui. Here, my dear students, alpha and beta are simply non-zero constants. They are the non-zero constants. So I have just put exponential of alpha into exponential of beta I. This is your equation number 6, which is known to be MB distribution law of energy. Alright. Now here, what is the term? This is known as exponential of, if I will take it in the numerator, it will become exponential of minus beta ui. This is called Boltzmann's factor. If summation is taken over it, I'll simply get that as the partition function. So this is half article, equation number 6. Now my next target is to find out the values of exponential of minus alpha and exponential of minus beta ui. This is my next target, to find out their values. Now see, how can I go for that? First of all, let us find the value of exponential of minus alpha, determination of exponential of minus alpha. So how can I do it now? See, let Np is the number of molecules per unit momentum interval. So in unit interval, the number of particles or number of gas molecules are Np. Then what will be the number of molecules in the interval dp? Means p plus dp minus p, that is dp. It will be Np dp. So what you have to do over here, see, just have a look on this equation. What you have to do, just remove this suffix I, put the suffix p, Np, and multiply it with dp. Similarly, on the right hand side, remove this suffix I and put a suffix gp and multiply it with dp. Means on both sides I have multiplied with dp on the equation number 6, removing the suffix I, keeping the suffix p. In the denominator, it is exponential of alpha, exponential of beta, u, I suffix is removed, it is replaced by p, that is up. I think you have got this equation. Now this equation further can be rewritten as equation number 7. Keep this exponential of minus alpha in the upward and exponential of beta up, it comes exponential of minus beta up. Now what is up here? It is the kinetic energy of the molecules having momentum between p and p plus dp, that is momentum p. Now one thing that I must tell you over here is, I have supposed it here as the only kinetic energy because, my dear students, in the starting of this article, I have taken an ideal gas. So you must be knowing in your 10 plus 1 that ideal gases possess only the kinetic energies. They do not possess any potential energy because the long range forces between the molecules of an ideal gas are always ignored. That is why the gas possesses only the kinetic energy. So I have simply written over here as what is up? It is the kinetic energy of the molecules of the gas whose momentum is given by p. So I can write up is equal to half m into vp square. So what is vp? It is the velocity of all the molecules having momentum p. तो multiply and divide it with m, you will get up is equal to p square upon 2m. This is the simple expression I have written over here. See, m square, numerator will become m square into vp square divided by m. So m square into vp square becomes p square. That is the momentum. Mass into velocity comes out to be momentum. This is p square. Equation number 8. Also, this is the equation which we have derived earlier. The number of phase space cells GP/dP in the momentum interval p and p plus dp is given by equation number 4. This is the equation which we have discussed in our last video. Equation number 9. So dear students, I am going to use this equation number 8 over here. But see, using this equation 8 in equation number 9, I will simply get the next equation, which is your, see, this is your equation number. Using 8 and 9 and 7, I will get NP/dP. This is the value of a GP/dP, exponential of minus alpha as it is, exponential of minus beta, UP is replaced by p square upon 2m into dP. This is your equation number 10. So what does your equation number 10 representing? This is simply representing that the number of particles in the momentum interval p and p plus dP are given by equation number 10. But I am interested in finding total molecules of the gas having momentums between 0 and infinite. Means, since all the gas molecules are in random motion, they possess all the velocities ranging from 0 to infinity. That means they possess all the momenta ranging from 0 to infinity. So that is why once you know the number of particles in momentum interval p and p plus dP, you can find out the number of molecules between range 0 to infinity just by integrating this equation number 10. Now using equation 10 in 11, I'll get this type of equation. Keeping the constants outside, I'll get this type of equation. Now you have to solve this integrand using the standard integrand. I have already come to know that this is the standard integral x square exponential of minus ax square into dx is equal to this. So if you compare these two integrands, see, what do you get? X is replaced by p and a is replaced by beta upon 2m. A is replaced by beta upon 2m. So I'll get on the right hand side as 1 by 4 pi upon a is replaced by beta upon 2m, the whole cube, whole power 1 by 2. Just by using this value here in equation number 12, I'll get this type of equation. So from here on solving, you will get this equation. On further solving, you will get exponential of minus alpha as equation number 16. So I'm leaving this topic over here for today. The rest of the topic will be continued because this topic is not finished at all. This is continued. So I'll be continue in the next my video. Till then, all the best. Thank you so much.